G'day, welcome to Sumo's Projects and welcome to this Christmas edition, December 2019 shop update. So ho ho ho, the festive season is just around the corner and I hope everyone has a great time over that season in particular and celebrates in a healthy and entertaining way. You have lots of fun and come back next year and we all start again. Couple of little milestones before I get into the makers of interest for the end of the year. I've just achieved my 100th video, which was my last video, this Mitosaur station build, and I'm extremely happy with it. It's something I needed to do for a long time, and yeah, so that was my 100th video. Also, a little while ago, 3,000 subscribers, and this to me is just sensational. When I set out upon doing YouTube 3 years ago, I sort of hoped one day that I could reach that target of 3,000. That was my objective and I did reach it, and I'm extremely proud, and I welcome all of my new subscribers and also thank my subscribers from over the years who have supported my channel continuously. So that's much appreciated, and I'll be back next year and create some more videos and have a bit more fun and interaction. So anyway, we've got a couple of great interviews, I've got a couple of great makers on YouTube who I want to show off to you. If you've not heard of them, please go ahead and subscribe to them, because what they're doing is extremely good, and their channels are sort of growing as mine did a couple of years ago, and we all want to back them up and get behind and make sure their channels grow to whatever desired successes they wish to reach on their own channels. All right, let's hook into the makers of interest.
Hi guys, and welcome to Cowpoke Woodcraft.
Introducing Cowpoke Woodcraft. Karl came up to my attention a while back, earlier this year, where his channel came across my feed, and I was very impressed by just the blue collar type hard-working man's approach to life goes. And Karl's a guy who obviously works hard throughout the week, and his hobby and craft are woodworking, and he does a lot of great things on his channel, such as demonstrating and reviewing a couple of items such as this Evolution Mitosaur. One of the recommendations I always try to perhaps instill into new makers is keep your channel quite eclectic, and that way you've got continuous type content coming out, but keep it interesting as well. It seems to me becoming a maker on YouTube, you're quite fortunate if you hit the big time pretty much within your first 20-30 videos, but it is a difficult place where if you want to find a little bit of traction, you just have to keep working at it. And Karl displays this in keeping his channel quite fresh. None of us can make anything that's not already been done, but we can put our own spin on it. So if you're able to do that, and you're going to find success in the long term. So just keep at it and pursue the hobby that you love. And this is an extra hobby now, as we all find out. The editing and everything else becomes part of the staple of making videos. One of the larger type projects which you saw a bit of footage of at the start was constructing your own workshed, and it takes quite a bit of work to do this, and patience as well. So a couple of other items, I like this one in particular. What Karl built a box which is a dedication of medals that were achieved by family members, and he's put a great emphasis and a lot of heart into the project. And this is one of the things that really gets warms my heart too, to see people so passionate about what they're doing. So, look, you have to subscribe to Cowpoke Woodcraft, because he's a good guy, and tell him Sumo sent you, and Bob's your uncle. So, good stuff, Karl. Keep it coming, mate. Keep up the good work. Next up, we have a maker from down under, Townsville, Queensland, Australia, Pallet Punter. I've watched a little bit of the show that's been made from this particular talented individual who recycles everything and makes some absolutely extraordinary projects from it. Pallet Punter is just, as the title suggests, making things out of pallet wood, which have a second life, and they can be made into exceptionally beautiful items. And the thing is, what we sometimes forget to realise is, you know, it's not always the item, it's the process and how you make something finish. So if you take the chance here to have a look at some of the clever creations made by Pallet Punter, you'll be well impressed by the techniques he uses, and yeah, it's very impressive. So some of my favourite projects so far watching this channel are this exquisite table built. I think it's a 6-seater, and also some stools that were built, exceptionally beautiful and great creations. So it's not cheating to be able to do techniques where it looks like something else has been done as far as the joinery, but and at the end of the day, who cares? Because the only connoisseurs of fine woodworking may be those who know more than us about it. But yeah, so if you ever have anyone over and says, you cheated here, well, you go, okay, you win, but the other people reckon it's all right. Go and subscribe to Pallet Punter. Do yourself a favour. You won't be disappointed, and it's good Aussie content. So here's a couple of pictures of some of the fantastic builds he's made. Technique-wise, this channel's quite interesting because it's a matter of getting in and getting the job done, and that's not at dismissing the quality of the work, but it's basically displaying that you can make things very effectively, and you know, you don't have to spend a great fortune in the machines and setups that you have. To me, this is reminiscent. It's somewhat of a small version of a Paul Jackman Australian style, and that's a good thing, because a lot of people I've seen at markets and that at market fare do tend to use recycled wood, and you know, in Australia it's quite readily available, and that makes it pretty inexpensive, doesn't it? If it's free, yeah, it is inexpensive. But all jokes aside, always something to consider to use upcycled materials. And I found when I have done projects, the commentary has been very supportive of people who do tend to look at, you know, giving second usage to an item which may have well been discarded and put into landfill, which is a terrible thing. But when we look at what we do waste in life, it seems appropriate to have a means of recognising that a second use is always something we can achieve. So, great channel, subscribe and give it the thumbs up. So, a couple of great makers there, folks. Get behind them, support them, and or do all the good stuff. Subscribe and give them a thumbs up. One of the great things that I had happen probably a few months ago now, a brand new Instagram TV series began, and so this is hosted by Ash Walker, and his particular call sign is or channel on Instagram is Woodwork and Whiskers. And what Ash has done is he's actually done something absolutely fantastic, so valuable to, in particular, the Australian community. And he's not given up, but he's put a lot of great emphasis on promoting Australian talent. And there's a lot out there. It's just it goes unrecognised. So I think I was about on the number 8 episode, and I thank Ash so much for allowing me, or him putting me onto his Instagram show. And I'll try to put all the links in that I can for Instagram. So go and support this. It's a great cause, and hopefully Ash will maybe be able to transfer this to YouTube one day as well. So you've got to get behind a great man like that who gives his all, and he just makes something happen in the Australian community, which it's rumbling. It's not yet exploded, but it's still rumbling. So we're waiting for that explosion. All right, let's carry on and have a look at that.
Take me back to the sweet sound of the nights. Everything is gonna be alright in the summertime. Baby, in the summertime. Baby, in the summertime.
Troopers, Ash from Woodwork and Whiskers. Welcome to the Monday meetup.
Introducing Ash Walker from the Monday meetup. Ash has started up a very, very, I would say, brilliant channel on Instagram TV, dedicating his efforts and blood, sweat and tears to promoting Australians who are doing a fair job of making things happen in life, be it plumbers, electricians, woodworkers, all trades, all hobbies, and all interesting folks who represent all those things. So I was fortunate enough to be able to appear on Ash's show, and I thank him wholeheartedly for that. It was a great experience, and I'm just blown away by the amount of people in Australia who who are reluctant to sometimes put themselves out on social media. But it is surely a market, where I think Australians are a little bit dry and a little bit humble, so they're not wanting to be, look at me and that sort of approach. But when we do get the opportunity to see what people and makers are doing out there, it becomes an open sort of window to see there is talent about, and that's always been the case. But just to be able to highlight it is a wonderful thing, and Ash has done such a great job season 1. So go across to Instagram and Woodwork and Whiskers, and just give him the love and subscribe. I suppose that's a subscription thing, or join forces with Ash. So next year he has another fine episodes coming, so stay tuned for that, and you won't be disappointed. Cheers, Ash. Keep it up, mate. So I just have to add to the conversation. The people I've met, such as Matt Saar here in Adelaide, and a few others, they're all the best salt of the earth, type people you can meet, because for a long time people in Australia didn't have an opportunity to be able to pick up some tools and make stuff, and it's not that the opportunity was lacking, but the direction and focus of employment tended to stray from using your hands. So Ash, mate, you're combining great things here, and also I reckon if we had a meet up with all these wonderful people, we'd be talking for, I don't know, more than a day. We'll probably be going to weeks, having a refreshment and a good old chinwag about how we do stuff and what we love, and it's just unlimited to what can be achieved.
All 20 episodes from season 1 wrapped up in one little package. Thanks for watching the show throughout the year. I've really enjoyed doing it. It's been a hell of a lot of work, a lot more than I anticipated, but that's fine because it's given some exposure to some wonderful Aussies. Most importantly, the thing that's really come out of this is the mateship that's developed between some of the guests on the Monday meetup, which is just bloody awesome. Next season, we've got some absolute rippers already organised. There will be some changes next season, which I'll announce next week because we've ran out of time here. So yeah, stay tuned next week and I'll bring you the changes for the 2020 series. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the journey. Cheers.
Last but not least is what's happening next year on Sumo's projects channel. Lots of things. We'll continue on doing the same type of projects. So it's going to be a blend of projects I'm actually making for things such as for the home or to sell. I've set up a stand now, and I've had that going for about 12 months, and it's selling quite well. The products that I put on display there, so I'll have a video on that. And I'm going to continue on with shop builds. I've finished this, the Minosaur area, pretty much done. I'm going over to the router table next, and I want to deck that out and make that as efficient as I can and as functionable as I can as well. So, and also doing, continuing to makers of interest. I'll probably try to build on that, make it a little bit more of a theme throughout the year and get more makers who are emerging and promote their channels as they go. A couple of other things, I suppose. Yeah, I want to do shop tours. I find them quite interesting to do. I love doing them, and it's just a matter of getting time to get out there and visit these makers in their own workshop environments, and just seeing what they're all about. So they're things I'll continue doing, and looking at other things as well. Your feedback is always much appreciated. So guys, till next year, have a bloody ripper Christmas. Be safe and come on back down to Sumo's shed next year. All right, hooroo.